and a very happy new year to everyone.
Thank you, Imran. Wish you the same.
Happy New
Wish
Year.
everyone
Thank
the
you.
same.
Thank you. So it's what? It's today's first, right there? If some people from US.
Yeah, first evening. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So, all right. So, give me a few minutes. I'll just quickly bring up the virtual machine that we need to. By the time I'll share the screen, see what I'm doing. All right. So, what we're going to do today is, for that we need actually 3 virtual machines. Okay, one is going to be the Ansible server as usual, and the rest of the 2 are going to be 2 virtual machines running CentOS operating system. Okay, CentOS 6.5 is selected, and Yeah. So, so idea of today's exercise is that we're going to see a few special modules. Uh, so I'm going to cover those modules first theoretically, and then we'll do it real time. Just, can you guys please mute yourself? I'm hearing my echo. Okay, so let's quickly reiterate what we did initially. We've seen what is Ansible. We have seen what's an inventory file. It's a place where we mention all the host information and credentials. We've seen what are modules. We have used modules with ad hoc commands. An ad hoc command is only available with Ansible and no other configuration management tool. Uh, we've seen Ansible configuration file, where we can choose to put some global configuration, and we have seen that we can create our own Ansible configuration file. Right? We started with playbook now. How to put modules in the playbook, how to create tasks and map it to the host. Right? Uh, we see different categories of modules. Okay, this time we're going to use CentOS instance. So mostly we're going to use anyway server configuration, and we're going to use yum instead of app. Okay. Okay. Now, did I take the setup module last Friday?
But we did not receive any documentation for Friday. We were hoping to receive
Okay.
those
Okay.
that we did on Friday.
Today. Okay. So today you'll get everything, whatever we did, plus what we're going to do next. That we're going to do today.
Sure, Imran.
Uh, right. So we have seen whenever we run any playbook, okay, it runs a setup module. Okay. So let me show you that. So we'll create another repo, repo 3. Okay, instance has not yet come up. Okay. We have used few of the core modules like app, um, user, ping, service. These modules we have used to add our commands to playbook. There's one more module called as setup. It comes into the core modules category. The purpose of setup module is that first thing, we're never going to run it by ourselves. Whenever we execute any playbook, does not matter if it's a single task or anything, it's going to execute a module called setup every time we run the playbook. It's by default. The purpose of this module is to extract as much as information from the nodes in JSON format, like all the information. So it uses a tool called OHAI, OHAI, and it retrieves all the information from the nodes from where we're doing automation, like what is the operating system, what are the mount points, what is the memory size, what is the IP addresses, such kind of information. Like much more than that we can ever use, right? And it's the default nature. Every time it's going to run this module. Okay, what failed? So bad. And as I said, sure. Just a minute. Right. So as I said, by default, the playbook is going to run that module for us. Okay. We can also choose to run it through ad hoc command. Okay. So anytime we run the ad hoc command, it's not going to run. But if we choose to use that particular module, we can run it. So let's add information about the host in our inventory file. So IP address is 21, and comment this. So Ansible -m ping on web servers group. Ping. Right. So the information you see on the screen has come from the setup module. It's gonna throw it on the screen if you choose to redirect it to some place. See kind of information you see, it's actually huge. We're gonna see a few of the information that we're gonna need it. Okay, like okay, it detected that there is a chef. Its version is 11.12, so it also detects the software that you have installed on your nodes. The memory size, the information is actually quite huge. Okay, if you see factor, network, Ethernet, right, Ethernet cable, memory, right, lot of information. Okay, so we are interested into one information that's going to be Ansible OS family that we'll see. Grab it, Ansible underscore OS underscore family. Okay, now if you see on the screen Ansible OS family colon Red Hat, so it gets the information in JSON format, key value pairs. So these are also called as fact variable in Ansible, which we use it sometimes. So it's always in the format of key value pair. Left hand side there is key, right hand side is the value. So I told you we have created a CentOS machine. Right, CentOS comes into the Red Hat family. So the value of the variable Ansible OS family is Red Hat. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you because we're going to use that, right? So, okay, so that's our playbook. So did I cover this? I'm sorry, really lost track of what we did on Friday. We covered this, right? Installing writing playbook on web servers group.
Yeah, this covered.
Oh, oh, okay, thank you. Right. So right. Now, if you see on my screen, I have given an app module and I have given a yum module to install HTTPD and Apache 2. So Apache is a service where we host the website, okay? And if you want to install Apache on Debian-based system, we use apt module, okay? And if you want to use if you want to install any software on a Red Hat family, we use yum module, okay? Now, in normal real-time environment, you're going to have instances that runs on Red Hat family, and there are instances which is going to run Ubuntu or Debian family. Okay, so let's say you have a web servers group which has also Ubuntu instances and also Debian, also CentOS based instances. Okay, at that time, the problem. So to get rid of this problem, you may write two different playbooks. Okay, but that's not really required. We can use something called as conditioning by using when module. Okay, there's a module called when. Okay, when we put some condition and then we say if this condition is true, then only run this particular module. Okay, so let's say we will say that when the Ansible OS family is Debian, then only run this apt module. Okay, and when Ansible OS family is Red Hat, then run yum module. Okay, so that's conditioning. Okay, so for that we have to write a module called when colon, and we'll say Ansible underscore OS underscore family equals to Debian. Okay, we put a condition over here. So now what will happen once it runs the setup module, it will detect that Ansible OS family is a Red Hat and it's not going to run this module. It's going to skip this app module. Okay. Right, so we have to put condition here also. Anyways, this is a Red Hat based system, we know, but in real time, it could be multiple instances, okay? Ansible OS family equals to Red Hat. And you should know the value and the variable, and to know it, you have to first run the setup module and see what are the values, right? Some of them would be already available on the internet, right? What is the value and all those things in Ansible documentation. But if you quickly want to see what are the variables and what are the values of it, you can run the setup module as we executed, right? Now also service module is common across Debian based system and Red Hat based system, right? But the name of the service, right? For the name of the service in Ubuntu system, it's Apache 2, okay, for Apache service, and for CentOS based system, it's HTTPD, okay, the name of the service. So we have to put a condition here also. Let's say when, if we copy paste,
So, quick question, Imran, is that
yeah,
sequence important, like apt,
no,
then comes when, or can it be like when and
yeah,
after that apt?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've never tried it before apt, okay. Not sure on that, but I think it's after apt only, because in the documentation it's given like that. So I never tried the other way. Don't think it like as a programming point of view, like we put if condition and then we put the block of code inside. This is a configuration management tool, okay. So when even if it comes after, this whole thing is going to be like one unit. Okay, so this will internally create some Python scripting, right? If Ansible is family is Debian, then run so and so module like that. Okay. All
Imran,
right.
if it
And also,
copy
can we
paste,
not group them together? Because we wrote this when two times, right? Basically for apt, because of the service and
Uh,
because of the other one. Can we group it
there are
into
two
saying
different.
that, okay?
You're
Okay.
talking about the service and app module together.
Yeah. Means, see, we used
No,
when one
that
is
cannot be done.
for the name service. Okay, what's that name? Yeah. The, the second line there, name equal to Apache 2 statement equal present. And we also used,
Yeah,
I think, little below that. So can we group these two
yeah. This
when it comes to
no,
Debian so
no,
that
no, no.
when it is Debian, do all this?
No,
No?
this
Okay.
no, that cannot be done. See, this is list of tasks. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this list, like every hyphen you see, it's the element from the list. Okay, so this is a different
Okay.
element, right? And this one is a different element, service one, right? So it's not like you know kind of like a programming point of
Right.
view. I understand what you're saying, right? You put a if condition and you put all
Yeah.
the
I
code
mean,
inside
if it
that.
is, yeah.
No,
If it is
here we're
this,
using modules,
everything
right?
it
One,
is right. Okay. No
no,
problem. Yeah. Just
yeah. Right, so I know I also do a lot of Python coding, so I know what you're saying. But see, these are list of tasks. So every task represents some other module. So definitely you cannot group that. Okay. So let's save and quit this. And let's see what happens when we run it. Okay, so one flag started getting execute web server. Okay. So this is executed setup module. Okay. As I told you, by default, the setup module gets executed. It brings up all the information. And this task where it says install on Ubuntu, it is saying skipping because the instance that we just created, the virtual machine, is a CentOS machine. Okay. Excuse me. Right. So, okay, and somewhat supported one.
Imran, can you explain me one
Used.
more time that when to use the when condition?
Yeah, sure. Okay, see, when is just a condition. Okay, we have an environment where we have Ubuntu based system and Debian, and Red Hat based system. Okay,
Mm.
and in Ansible there are different modules for Debian systems and different module for CentOS or Red Hat family system. Okay, like apt is a different module which can be only executed on Ubuntu system, and yum can be executed only on CentOS or Red Hat family, right?
Okay.
So if we if you want to write a playbook, okay, more generalized playbook which can be executed on Ubuntu and CentOS system. Let's say we have taken a group web servers. Okay, in this we have, like, let's say 20 nodes. 5 are running Ubuntu operating system and 15 are running CentOS operating system, right? So you may need to write two different playbook, right? Because the modules are different and name of the services are different for both the operating system. Okay, but instead of doing that, we can put a condition.
Mm.
Okay, when is just a condition, when this condition is satisfies, then it executes the module. Okay, so
Okay.
we have got the variable from setup module. Okay, and we say like
Mm-hmm.
Ansible OS family is Debian, then only execute this module. Okay, if Ansible OS family is Red Hat, then only run this module. Okay, so this is just a condition based on the operating system. Okay, you can have some other conditions also, like you can say, if the memory is more than so and so GB, then only run this module. Like you put any kind of condition. It's all about your imagination. Right, but this is the most commonly used variable Ansible OS family, which I also have used at multiple places while I was serving the client. Because we have a heterogeneous environment all the time. Okay, when you have a huge environment, you're going to deal with the situation where you have multiple operating systems. Okay, that time you can use
How to
when and detect. Yeah.
how to get this variable value? How do we fetch this information from the setup module?
So we run the setup module and we can get it from here. We can also get it from Ansible documentation. Okay.
Okay, we need not
So
to write.
no, you don't need to write. This is a fact. These are called as fact variable, which comes from the
Mhm.
setup module. And every time a playbook gets executed, by default, it's going to run the setup module.
Okay, fine. Okay, now I'm clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. So the information is quite huge. We cannot cover through all the variables from the setup modules, but you'll definitely get, once you get into the situation, you try to find, you can Google it, and there's the Ansible documentation available. We have got some error. Ensure HTTPD is running on CentOS. Okay, it says, okay, we have some typo. Enables. Okay, so you see, it clearly shows you where the condition fails. It simply skips. Okay, and let's say if we have not put that condition, it's gonna fail over here, and your playbook execution will stop. Okay, so that's a when condition, and that's how you use setup variables. These are called fact variable. Now, one important point here is, if you are using fact variable, okay, then keep it as it is. Otherwise, you can turn the fact module off. Okay, and how you can do that is, you can turn off the setup module. Okay, you can simply say gather underscore facts colon no. Okay, when you do this, the setup module will not get executed, but do it only when you are not using any of the fact variable. Okay, setup module is expensive. It takes some time to get executed on the node and return the value. Okay, let's say it took, like, 15 to 20 seconds on one server. So imagine if you have like 50 servers or 100 servers, it's going to take a very long time. Okay, the execution time will increase. So if you want to reduce the execution time, you can simply say gather facts no. Okay, in the global variable section, global play declaration section, right? So it's not going to run the setup module there, and you can save a lot of time. Okay, but you can only do that when you are not using any fact variables. Okay, these are called as fact variables. So let's try that out. Okay, we'll try that later. We have to see some other modules first. Okay. All right. One thing I want to show you in the documentation is, don't get confused while seeing the documentation. So let's pick up any module and see its documentation. Module index. Okay, let's go to all modules. Let's look for, let's say, apt. Okay, so all the parameters or option that you provide is over here, right? So you'll see few examples over here. Okay, like update repository cache and install foo package. Okay, so how you can use that? So you'll see this kind of a new line. Okay, but don't get confused. You can use it either way. You can put it in the same line or you can put it in the new line also. Okay, so it's saying that so here it's providing you also name. Okay, this name, as I told you, is not a mandatory thing. If you want to name, you can name it, otherwise you don't name it. In some documentation you don't see this name. Okay, you simply see the name of the module and you see a hyphen in front of that, hyphen name of the module, and you see all the options over here. Okay, so don't get confused. Name is optional. You can give it or you cannot give it. Okay, it's your choice. Again, you can put all this in the same line, all the option after the module, or you can give it in new line, but make sure there is some space. Okay, so what I mean is, let me open playbook. So if I want, I can give it like this. This is also a valid statement. Okay, and you can give it like this also. Choose to give it like this when you have a lot of options that you're specifying. It's really coming to the new line. That time it's better you make it more readable and give options like that. Okay. Otherwise, it's better you can give it as it is. Okay. Or you can try that out. So I'm showing you this because in documentation you'll see it's in the new line, and in your document you're writing everything in one line, all the options. Okay. So don't get confused. All right. And see, most of the things are available in the documentation, with examples. Install latest version of OpenJDK, ignoring install, recommend, right? So many options and examples are available here, right? Okay. All right. So I'm going to discuss about few modules, and we'll use that in our playbook. Okay. So one is the include module. Let's say you have a playbook that you have written it, which has a list of tasks, right, and that you want to execute again. So you have, in some time you'll collect a lot of playbook, okay, and you'll have it on your local repository, which you can reuse, right? If you have a new project that's coming and you have already some let's say you're configuring a web server or a DB server, right? A new requirement comes that we need DB server, but we need few more things in that. Okay, so you can kind of use your existing playbook by using an include statement. So you simply see in the task section hyphen include and the name of the playbook or the part of the playbook where it's located. Okay, and once you run this main playbook, okay, then it's going to run the other playbook. Mostly that playbook is named as site.yml. Okay, the name is not, it's not mandatory, but the general practice people give it like site.yml. Okay, and in this you can put all your host information, right, like hosts colon web servers, right, and maybe then you can start with your tasks, right, and you can give hyphen include and whatever playbook, a list of tasks that you have put. Okay, that playbook can have just list of tasks, no host information there. Okay, let's say webdb deploy.yml. Okay, like that you can do multiple playbooks over here. So once you run this main playbook that we just created, okay, site.yaml, it's going to call the other playbook and execute it, right? Okay, so sometimes you execute some particular module and it returns some output, but you want to store that output, okay, like assigning a value into a variable. In that case, you can use a module called register module. So in this example that you see on my screen, we're using a module called shell first. So shell module is a Linux module. So far we have been executing all the modules, app module to install packets, service module to do something with service, and user module. But what if you want to run some command, some Linux command? Okay, we don't want to use any module. We just want to run some command, right? So we can use shell, or there is one more called as command module that you can use. You can specify the Linux command, whatever command that you want to execute. So here the command is who am I. Its complete path is giving. Okay, user bin who am I. So who am I module, sorry, who am I command in Linux returns the name of the user. Okay, so if I run a who am I command, sorry, who am I, it returns the name of the user with which I have logged in. Okay, uh, let's go to the web instance and let's say who am I. Okay, it returns username is Vagrant. Okay, ID command also you can use. So you know that command returns. So you can give complete path also of who am I command like this. Okay, so you know that it returns a username, but you want to store that information. Okay, so you shell username who am I and you say register and you give the name of the variable. So here the username is the name of the variable where it's going to store the value. Okay, so the shell command is going to return the name of the variable. Let's say it returns Vagrant, and that will get stored into username variable. Okay, now if you want to use that variable anywhere inside your playbook, okay, there is a special way called as Jinja 2 templates in Ansible. Okay, so in that you cannot just like directly give the name of the variable. You have to put it into two curly braces. Okay, enclosed into two curly braces, right, like this. So what the third module is doing, file path. So file module creates files. Okay, so it's creating an empty file over here, and owner it is saying that username. So whatever value of username is, okay, that will be the ownership of this file. Okay, ownership means if you do ls-l, there is no file here. Okay, if I do ls-l, right. So this is a file Ansible configuration or any file you see. So this is the owner. Root is the owner, and the group owner is also root. Okay, such kind of ownership you can assign with the owner option. Okay, but here we are using the variable that we just captured with the register module. Okay, so register command is used to store the output of any module. All right. Okay, debug module, which is also used so many times. Debug module is it's really not going to do any debugging of error or anything. It simply prints messages on the screen. Okay, like we have echo in Linux, right? Hello DevOps. Okay, in Linux we have echo. So echo, whatever we give, it simply prints on the screen, right? Or any programming language, you have print statement or something like that. Right, so debug module is like that. You say debug and message equal to whatever you specify, it's simply going to print it on the screen. That's all. Right, what is the purpose? Sometimes you want to see what is the value of the variable. Okay, you're trying to debug that you have some issue that you're trying to assign the ownership. Okay, but it's giving a wrong ownership. Okay, it's taking some other username, let's say for example. So you can print the value of the variable that you have used, or any value for that matter, with debug module. Okay, simply print on the screen. Okay, sometimes you want to make your playbook interactive. Okay, dynamic playbook which takes input from the user whenever you run a playbook. So we have seen so far, we run a playbook, it runs all the tasks, but sometimes you want to take the information from the user, like asking any variable information. Okay, let's say we are deploying a website. Okay, and we want to take the name of the website from the user when we run the playbook. So there is a module called vars prompt, vars underscore prompt, right? Use that module and you say name, site name. Okay, site name here is the variable where it's going to store the value. Prompt, and you type the message what you want to show it on the screen. Okay, so uh, let's do it. Say prompt.yml. Okay, let's see, 3 hyphen host colon web servers. Let's see, become is yes tasks. But as underscore prompt. So it's not in task. This is a variable. Vars underscore prompt and say name colon site name. What is this site name? We're going to use debug module also, and we'll print some message over there. Let's see, message. Let's do. This is the site name. All right. Let's see if that works. Okay, so this is an interactive playbook which is going to ask us a question, what is the site name? We give the information, it's going to store it into a variable called site name, and with debug module we'll simply print that variable, like this is site name. Okay. It's asking what is the site name. I say DevOps. Oops, sorry. So whenever you type, it's I'm typing actually, but it's not showing it on the screen. It's like a password prompt. Right, so it printed a message. This is the DevOps rocks. Yeah, bad English. Yeah, doesn't work out. But you understood. You got the point, right? Stores takes the input from the user, and then you can use it anywhere. So we have used it in debug module. Okay.
So Imran, quick question. So what you're saying is whatever we type in there, right, that is taken into the site name variable.
Variable.
Is that a variable kind of?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a variable. That's what I said. So it's not a mandatory name. Okay, you can put any
Okay.
name.
Right. But earlier, right, for
That's
to assign a variable value, I thought we used a request or something like that, right? So are they both different or what's that?
register. See, register is
Yeah,
used
register. Yeah,
whenever you
yeah.
want to, yeah, register you use when you want to store the value that comes from a module in the task section, to be specific. So you
Oh, okay,
execute
okay.
some module, right? It returns some value, right? So we have execute shell module, it returns some value, and that it
Oh, okay.
stores into register, right?
I
This
see.
is a
Okay.
vars prompt. Yeah,
From the user, right? This is the input that takes
yeah,
from user. Okay,
yeah. We
okay.
have made the playbook dynamic. Okay,
Sounds good. Yeah, thank
so
you.
we'll include this in real
Imran,
time. We'll actually, yeah,
the prompt is the
yeah. Go
module.
ahead. Yeah,
The
VARS
prompt is the
prompt is a
module.
module. Yeah, prompt is a, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a module.
Okay. Okay. Is this the only way to define the variable in between the double quotes? In general,
Yes,
if
yes.
suppose
That's
if I want to
not double quotes, double curly braces. You want to say, right?
what I mean is suppose I want to I want to store port numbers or something. So how can I define the
Key.
variable?
Yeah, yeah. That will see. That will see. That we
Okay.
have
Fine.
So we simply have to give vars and we simply give key value pairs. Okay, that we'll see. Okay. All right. So the next topic, the next module, handlers, actually not comes under module section. So handlers is used a lot, and it is. So I'll give you a scenario first of all, the problem statement, then you can understand it better. So let's say I have like 20 nodes where I want to do some configuration changes. Okay. HTTPD configuration changes. Okay. Now a 5 node already has a configuration changed. So whenever you change any configuration on any server, okay, the next thing that you will do is you're going to restart that particular service. Okay, that's the general practice. To take that configuration into effect, we restart service. Any service we talk about like HTTPD service or FTP or any configuration for that matter. We restart a service, right? Even in Windows, we do some configuration changes. Stop the service or start the service or simply reboot the machine. Okay. The point is, we have to do configuration changes on all the web servers, and 5 are already done. So whenever there is a configuration change, we restart the service. Okay. If the configuration is not changed, do not restart the service. Right. So how do you do that? So let's say if you put in the task, push this configuration file, and that is the next first task, copy task, and the next task you will gonna put like service, name, whatever name of the service, and state restart. So even if if it doesn't push the file, if source and destination is same and it's idempotent, it doesn't push the file, right? Whenever it's idempotent, right, it doesn't push the file. So at that time, anyways, the service will get restarted because you have put it in the task section. So whatever we put in the task, it will definitely get executed. But handler is the other way. So handler will only get executed when it is notified. Okay, whenever a state of some service is changed, you notify it, okay, to the handler, and handler will take that chair, maybe restarting of service will do something like that. Okay, what I'm saying is, let's open playbook. Okay, so here we have all the tasks, right? Here we have like 4 tasks. Okay, that gets executed, does not get executed, right? Handler is similar to task. Okay, it comes in the same line. Handlers, let me put it in a new line. Same line, yeah. Handler, right? And let's say I want to create a handler for restarting Apache service. Okay, restart Apache. Okay, and the module that we're going to use is service, right? Name equal to HTTP, right? State equal to restarted. Okay. Now, if it's a normal task, every time I run the playbook, this will get executed. But if it's a handler, it will never get executed in this particular scenario. It will only get executed when it is notified. Okay. And notify we can use with a notify command. Let's say we have used some module, and we say notify restart Apache. So whenever we do like this, so the name where we are notifying and the name of the handler should be exactly same. Now this will only get executed whenever there is a change in this particular module. So whenever there is a change, whenever if you talk about this module, whenever HTTPD gets installed, then only it's going to notify to restart Apache. Right? If HTTPD is already installed, this will be it's idempotent, right? Configuration management tool. So nothing will happen. It will not install the package, and this notifier will not get called. So this handler will get no notification and will not take effect. Okay. So one more situation we'll see over here. So we use handlers a lot whenever we do any configuration change. We want to restart a particular service, right? And to do that, we use it like this. So let's say we have a HTTPD configuration file. Okay, this is a configuration file for Apache. Okay, HTTPD service. So let's say we want to change Apache configuration file for all the nodes, right? So we can use copy module there. So copy module will simply take the source file and put it into the destination, simply dumping it, right? So the options in the copy module is source equal to, you give the path of the source, and destination dest, you give the place where it gets should be pushed, right? Whenever that happens, just notify it to Apache restart. Okay, Apache restart, it will look for handlers section now. Okay, in handlers section you have Apache restart, and what it's going to do, it's going to restart the Apache HTTPD service. Okay, we run it first time, it will definitely get called. We run it again, right? There is no configuration change. This will not take place. Okay, no, the notification will not be sent, and handler will not get executed. Okay, so let's read it once again. So only runs task when notified. Task only when only notify when state is changed. Whenever state is changed of a particular module, then only it's gonna notify to the handler. Does not run until all playbook tasks have executed. So let's say you are calling restart Apache 4 times, okay, in your playbook. Okay, so it's not like first you call it, it's gonna execute the handler, and it's not gonna call all the 4 times. Once all the task execution gets completed, okay, at the end of the task execution completion, it's gonna call the handler. Okay, and most commonly it is used for restarting services. Okay, it can be used for other stuff also, like it's only about putting the name of the module, but mostly we use it to so mostly we use it to restart services. Okay, most of the time, but it's just the name of the module here. We have used service module. You want to do something else, you can do it. Okay, it says copies config file to host. If state equals to changed on copy, tell Apache restart. Okay, and run service module. That's what it is doing. Okay, any question in this? This is important. We definitely need to use this. All right, so conditional execution, we have already seen this. Okay, we have used Ansible OS families, Red Hat, then only execute this module. Okay, this conditional execution. Okay, so sometimes what happens is you execute a playbook and there are some error. Okay, so let's say do some changes here. Made some mistake. Okay, let's execute this. I made a typographical error. Instead of state E, I have removed the E. Okay, and let's execute this. This is gonna fail, right? The place where it fails, there itself it stops the execution, and no other task, right, in the playbook gets executed. Okay, sometimes you feel not typographically, but due to some reason you feel that if any error comes, you just want to ignore that error. Okay, and it can continue with the rest of the task. So you can use this module ignore errors. Okay, and you can say yes. Let's see now. I don't know, it will work for syntactical error. Let's see. Yeah, it worked. Right, so we got an error and we simply said ignore errors, and it says there is an error, fatal error, and it's ignoring it. Okay, because we have choose to ignore it. Okay, It's called as exception handling. So if you want to still continue with the errors, you can simply put ignore errors as yes. Okay. Okay. One more very important thing that we use is templates. We have seen in previous example, where is that? Copy module. Okay. Copy module takes a file, right, located somewhere on your Ansible server, right. You want to push it to the all the target nodes, right. So template module is similar to that. It takes copy source and puts it at the destination, but there is a difference that these files are going to be dynamic files. Okay, what I mean is you can put variables into those files. Like we have seen variable, like site name variable we used in curly braces, right? So those are variables. Okay, that's how you define variables in Ansible. So template module is similar to copy. The only difference is in the file you can use the variable. So template will first read through all your templates, see if there are any variables. If there is any variable, it will extract it to a new file. It will create a new file, put all your variable information, and will copy that new file to the destination. Okay, it's a dynamic file. So really only difference is you can put the variable inside the file. So here instead of copy module we are using a template module. Okay, source, destination, all the options are actually same for copy and template module, but in the httpd.j2, so j2 is going to be the extension of the source file. Okay, it says that it's a Jinja2 file. Okay, again, no, not mandatory, but still we use .j2 extension. Okay, in this httpd.j2 file, then you will have not only static data but also the variables. Okay, so your httpd.j2 will look something like this, right? You see three variables over here: server underscore admin, site underscore root, inventory underscore hosting. Okay, now you'll see where are these variables, where do we define these variables. Okay, so we can define variables inside the playbook, like we have defined vars prompt. We can define other variables also, normal variable, key value pair, and there are some other places also where we can define variables in Ansible. We'll see that tomorrow. So here there are three variables: server underscore admin, site underscore root, and inventory underscore hostname. Okay, everything remains same. It's just only about variable that you can put over here. Okay, a dynamic template, right? Alright, what's the time? Oh, just a problem with my system.
Imran, how to populate this variable? How do they get the values here?
We will see that we will define variables. So quickly I can tell you that you can define variables inside your playbook also.
Okay.
Like this, you can define vars colon, and you can see server underscore admin. Its value is gonna be, let's say, root. What happened? Root, like that, right? And in the template you can use that. So we're going to write a playbook for that. For like whatever models we have seen, we're going to use all those models, and we're going to write a playbook, a very dynamic playbook, which takes user input and will define some variables and all those things. Okay. Just a moment. So this is the playbook that we're going to see. Okay. Okay. Let's see it. You can take it tomorrow also again. So here we have defined some variables that we can use in our template and also at few other places. Okay, so vars, you give vars in the global play declaration. Okay, and you define the variables like HTTP port is so and so, document root is so and so. So these are custom variables. Okay, its key and values are of custom. Whatever the left hand side keys, whatever you see, the name of the variable, it can be anything. Okay, your choice, because you're going to use that into some template or somewhere else. Okay, so everything is custom here. Okay, then we are using a vars prompt over here, right? And we are prompting for the username, like what is the username? Okay, and we're going to can store that into username variable, and we'll use it into one of the template. Okay, list of the task. We are installing HTTPD, and we are saying that if it's Red Hat family, then only use this particular module. Okay, we're using a file module to create a directory. So what we are doing with this playbook is, I'll quickly reiterate. Tomorrow I'll write it for you and we'll run it. So what this playbook is going to do is, it's going to install web server. Whenever you install a web server, you have a default website page. We're going to replace it with our own website page. Okay, and by using modules, that's what we're going to do with this playbook. Okay, so generally in Apache, the website page gets stored into var www.html. This is the path, default path. Okay, we want to replace that with this particular directory, Ansible. Okay, that's going to be the default root directory for us. Okay, so for that, first of all, we need to create a directory. So we're using a file module to create a directory. Okay, file, we define the path of the file and we say state equals to directory. So if you don't say state equal to directory, it will create an empty file. Okay, and we are making sure that Apache is running and enabled, right? And then we're pushing a configuration file with template. Okay, so we'll see all those things tomorrow. HTTPD is the template, destination is so and so, and we say notify restart Apache. We are going to notify to the handler. Okay, we are also copying an index.j2 template. Okay, that's going to be our website data. We'll see that as a website, and inside that also we're going to have some variables. Okay, right. So, and we have defined a handler also over here, restart Apache. Right, restart Apache handler is there, so which is getting notified whenever a configuration file is pushed. Okay, so we'll write this playbook tomorrow. Right, on database is nothing, and yeah.
Hi Imran, this is Karthik.
Yeah, got it.
Imran, as I said to you in the last class, where I can't able to get the bridge network details, like I uninstall the virtual box and installed it again and set everything using the command prompt. I can see all the path is set and the VM box is there. I can see everything. But when I use the command vbox manage.ext list bridge if, it shows me an vbox.exe's command is not found.
Where are you running, on Linux machine or a Windows machine? VBox
No, I'm running on Windows machine.
Okay, Windows, I told you, you have to set the environment variable, right?
Yeah, I set the environment variables too. I use the command prompt to set the environment variables, and I use all the options what you sent through the link, like set, path, everything, and I manually check the environment variables in the properties, like where I can go and see on the Windows manually. I see there, I can see the environment variables I've set over there.
Okay, so why don't you go at that particular directory manually, like, I'll show you. So cd c.
Yeah, I went like program files, Oracle, and VirtualBox.
Still you don't see it?
No, yeah, still I'm getting the same problem. I can see everything, I did everything what has to be done, but still I'm getting the same error. So I was figuring out from
here.
that.
Here you can see VirtualBox vbox manage.exe, right?
Yeah, I can see vbox manager.
So then why you're saying that it's saying not found like that?
That's a big question for me too. I can see everything and everything is set, but don't know what's the problem. I tried to figure it out from last day.
Okay, try it like this. Go into that path. Try it like this: /vbox manage.exe list like that. Try it like this: /. Go into that directory where you have vbox manage.exe command. give / vbox manage.exe, like type command like this.
I had to rename the file name. Like it
No,
looks
no,
like.
no, don't rename anything. I'm saying we run it like this, right? vbox manage.exe list bridge interface. So just give a / in front of that and then try to run it.
You are
Suppose
saying, yeah, I use the same .exe.
no. What? See in the beginning, you see my screen, right?
No, Imran, I can't able to see your screen.
I have shared my screen. Okay, hold on. Okay, otherwise, kind of just spin the virtual machine manually. Otherwise, if you're having that problem, uh, can you see my screen now?
No, sorry.
Is it visible for everyone?
No, not at this moment. No.
Here, I'm sharing it. Okay, let's share it again.
Yeah. No.
Now you can see.
No, it's a plain white screen. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, Karthik, do one thing. Go into that directory, program files Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, from your git sys, or go open the command prompt. Okay, CMD
Okay.
command prompt. Okay, go into that directory, program files Oracle VirtualBox, and the command that you run vbox manage.exe, right? Bridge interface. Run that command from there. Still not working. Put a // before vbox manage command. Okay, I'll put it in the chat. Like try this also. Manage.exe. Like this. Go into that directory and run the command like this and try to see the bridge interfaces.
Okay.
Okay, try this. Uh, if not, go to the network settings and try to find the name of the interface from there. But that's not very reliable method actually. Okay, but try this.
You mean I have to use the command prompt and instead of having
Try
a
with both. Try with command prompt. Try with git also. Try with both.
okay. At last,
Okay.
what should I do is like use take out the backward slash and use the forward slash in the same thing, right?
Yes. Try this. See if the bridge interface name list there or not. Okay.
Okay.
If the software is there, I mean, you are saying that you can see in VirtualBox VBAC manage.exe is there. I don't know how it's not getting executed. Please surprised. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
So please send the
Uh,
documentation,
Signing off for today.
Imran. Yep.
Sure. Just now sending
Okay.
it.
Thank you. Yep.